According to the National Electrical Code, specifically Article 230.2, a building is permitted to have multiple electrical services under certain conditions. The situation described involves a building with two electrical services, one rated at 3000 amps and the other at 1600 amps, both operating at 208 volts. The allowance for multiple services stems from specific circumstances outlined in the NEC. In this case, the provision 230.2 likely applies, meaning that the authority having jurisdiction has permitted the additional services because of the building's size or load requirements. The key factor for compliance when multiple services are present is proper identification. Article 230.2 mandates that each service disconnect location must be clearly marked to indicate the presence of other services on the premises and specify the area served by each. This identification is crucial for safety and maintenance, ensuring that electricians and other personnel can quickly and accurately identify which service disconnect controls power to specific areas of the building. The description mentions that the two services are located on opposite sides of the building, resulting in the service disconnects being in different rooms. This arrangement itself doesn't violate the NEC, provided that the identification requirements of Article 230.2 are met. Each service disconnect location must have a permanent plaque or directory indicating the location of the other service disconnect and the areas each service supplies. Without proper identification, it would be difficult for maintenance personnel to quickly energize all power to the building in an emergency or during maintenance procedures. The presence of identification at each service disconnect location, as mandated by Article 230.2, ensures that the service arrangement complies with the NEC. The NEC aims to minimize hazards and ensure safe electrical installations. The multiple service allowance, when coupled with stringent identification requirements, strikes a balance between accommodating large electrical loads and maintaining safety. The Code's requirements are designed to provide a safe and reliable electrical system for the building and its occupants. Article 230 covers service entrances, and it's important to understand the definitions within Article 100 related to services to fully grasp the requirements. A service is defined as the conductors and equipment for delivering electric power from the serving utility to the wiring system of the premises served. This includes the service conductors, service equipment, and any grounding and bonding connections. The service equipment typically consists of the main service disconnect, overcurrent protection devices, and metering equipment. When multiple services are installed, each service must have its own set of service equipment. The disconnects should be grouped together where practicable, or if this isn't feasible due to the building's layout, the identification requirements become even more critical. The NEC also addresses the ampacity of service conductors. The service conductors must be sized to carry the calculated load according to Article 220, taking into account demand factors and diversity. The overcurrent protection for the service conductors must be sized appropriately to protect the conductors and equipment from overloads and short circuits. Grounding and bonding are also essential aspects of service installations. The grounding electrode system must be properly installed and connected to the service equipment to provide a lower impedance path for fault currents. Bonding jumpers must be used to connect all metal enclosures and equipment to the grounding system, ensuring that all exposed metal parts are at the same potential. The NEC provides specific requirements for grounding electrode conductors and bonding jumpers based on the size of the service conductors. In addition to Article 230, other articles in the NEC may also apply to service installations depending on the specific circumstances. For example, Article 250 covers grounding and bonding in detail, Article 310 covers conductors for general wiring, and Article 408 covers switchboards and panel boards. It's important to consult all applicable articles in the NEC to ensure that the service installation complies with all requirements. The authority having jurisdiction, often a local building inspector, has the final say on whether an electrical installation complies with the NEC. The inspector will review the plans and conduct inspections to ensure that the installation meets all applicable codes and standards. If any violations are found, the inspector will issue a notice of violation, and the contractor must correct the deficiencies before the installation can be approved. Therefore, it's crucial to work closely with the local building department and electrical inspector to ensure that the service installation complies with all requirements. In summary, the presence of two electrical services, a 3000 amp service and a 1600 amp service, both at 208 volts, in a building, is permissible under the NEC, specifically Article 230.2 Cone. However, strict adherence to the identification requirements outlined in Article 230.2 is mandatory. This includes providing clear and permanent identification at each service disconnect location indicating the location of the other service disconnect and the areas served by each service. As long as these identification requirements are met, the service arrangement is considered compliant with the NEC, contributing to a safe and reliable electrical system for the building.